Thank you, Alistair, for coming.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah. So, first question up. What brings you to the Living Our Ways conference here at Wagga Wagga?
Well, for me, engaging with the community is probably the most important part of my job. And First People's Disability Network engages with your client and your community, our Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. So it's a great opportunity for me to come here to the beautiful Wagga Wagga and to just make sure that the things I talk about are actually the same issues that we're all talking about.
Mm-hmm. So, being an Aboriginal person with disability myself, it's often seen as a bit of a niche issue, but I'm wondering if you can give a perspective on how important addressing the specific needs of Aboriginal people with disability.
Yeah, certainly. I think it's important to focus. We're all people. We all come from different backgrounds and different countries and different parts of Australia. So for Aboriginal people, it's important that, you are the first people, so we firstly need to, respect and make sure that we incorporate the culture of that into, mainstream Australia on the basis that we need to be supporting each other. So for Aboriginal people, I think the biggest challenge is because you're not in the majority, we see once again majority dominating the issue. So we need to ensure that when we think about the most vulnerable people, unfortunately Aboriginal people fall in that category because of the attitude of the majority.
Mm-hmm. So we have a new, you're one of many social justice commissioners rather, at the Human Rights Commission. So you'll be working with June Oscar. I was wondering if you could share some of your plans and how you'll be working together.
Well, we were delighted to see June Oscar be appointed to the position. I think she's got a big job. I commend McEwin for his fantastic work as the previous commissioner. And June, I think, will probably want to spend a bit of time just getting on top of the major issue and then working out what she will be doing. And I personally would like to work with her on issues around Aboriginal children in education, as well as making sure, given that we've got the NDIS, this is a unique opportunity to make sure the Aboriginal community know about the NDIS and what it means for them and what it can do for them. So I hope to have that opportunity to work with June to do what I can, play a small part in capacity building of Aboriginal communities.
One of the more difficult discussions that tends to be had in Australia is the issue of discrimination, and often that holds Aboriginal people with disability back. Two fronts, there's racism and there's ableism as well, and they can combine. So just in terms of how do you see we can have those kind of, what could be confronting discussions in Australia?
They're certainly incredibly challenging. I think one of the biggest things I want to see is to get politicians and government department to literally see the issue, to see and meet with people in their own environment. For too often we have meetings and roundtables and conferences in Canberra, in Sydney, but we're not really seeing the harsh reality that people are experiencing every day of their lives. So I think that would be one step for politicians collectively and with their department to actually go out and see that most of the problems are actually in rural and remote areas, not just the cities. But the other thing I think needs to happen is we talk a lot about decentralisation and individual autonomy for department, but I think given the unique issues that people with disabilities experience across every aspect of life, access to healthcare, education, employment, and so on, we need to have a central coordination driven by that human rights framework.
Mm-hmm. So you strike me very much as a people person, Alistair. So I'm wondering how you might see the voice of people with disability and Aboriginal people with disability in particular being the agents of social change in our country.
Well, no pressure, Scott. I think I see myself as the link or a link between community, the disability community in particular, and government. As we know, we expect government to make decisions about our lives. We elect them. We elect them to make decisions, or positive decisions about our lives. So for me, I think it's really important that where possible, the voices of people with disability are not just coming from me, but I would want to be able to create opportunity for politicians and government departments to actually link with people with disability beyond our typical roundtables and conferences.
So just a final question, you've had such a long extensive career in the disability sector. People know you from your positions, your chairpersonships of the Deaf Society, and now you as the Disability Commissioner. Personal question for you, what drives you personally, what motivates you?
I think two things motivate me. One is I wake up in the morning and think there are 4.3 million people with disability living in Australia. I want to make sure that the next day when they wake up, along with me, their lives are better. How we achieve that will take time. I mean, I think we can work on something quickly, but other things will take time. That's one thing that drives me. But I also remember when I was about 13 years old or 14 years old, reading about ancient Greek history, and the Spartans were alleged to have, if they had a baby with an obvious physical deformity or disability, they would just leave them to die in the forest or out in the plain. I remember feeling shocked and thinking, if I'd been born at that time with a disability like that, no, I've got lots of living to do, I've got lots of things I want to do in my life. So that drives me to make sure that no one with a disability literally gets left behind.
So that's Alistair McEwin. Thank you very much for your time.